UW360 is proudly supported by Pacific Office Automation, Copy, Print, Workflow, and IT. Problem solved. BECU, a not-for-profit member-owned credit union.
The climate is changing, so we need to change as well.
Climate change. It's in the land and sea and the very air we breathe. And as the temperature of the earth rises, so do our fears.
It's terrifying. I know, the repercussions are huge, and I know that.
It doesn't seem like something a lot of people have a strong idea about or even have a good grasp about the actual facts.
Global warming is clearly a hot topic, fraught with more questions than answers.
How we're going to prepare for or cope with the inevitable changes, because we can't prevent all the changes no matter what we do.
One of the things we're interested in, though, is the impact of pollution from Chile.
Chris Bretherton, UW Professor of Atmospheric Sciences, is part of an international group of researchers who study climate change. His work is so highly regarded, he was chosen as a lead author for a report put out by the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change.
Climate change is with us right now. We're making it worse. We need to move as fast as we can away from fossil fuel energy to keep climate change from becoming quite substantial.
Bretherton spends a lot of time with his head in the clouds.
We think we're heading toward a world with somewhat less clouds.
Bretherton's expertise in climate research is on the role of clouds and aerosols in the atmosphere.
If the clouds melt back, which is what we think is going to happen in a warmer climate, then that means more sunlight can get to the surface, and that warms the planet even more.
If global warming continues, some hard, cold facts start to crystallize.
For instance, the West Antarctic ice sheet were to melt, it could raise sea level something like 12 to 15 feet. And a 12 to 15 foot sea level rise in a few decades would drown about half of Florida, would drown a lot of Bangladesh, would drown a lot of low-lying parts of Texas. Basically places all over the world.
But what about our corner of the world, here in the Northwest?
For our region, we expect to see a range of sea level rise from 4 to 56 inches increase over the course of this century.
Amy Snover is the director of UW's Climate Impacts Group. According to Snover, climate change affects everything here, from floods to fires, to food.
One of the things that's of biggest concern to people thinking about climate impacts on agriculture is irrigation water availability.
There seems to be little doubt the climate is changing, but no doubt about who is responsible.
We're all implicated in this. This is all because of greenhouse gases emitted to the atmosphere as a result of human activities. So it comes from burning fossil fuels, which means energy use, which means driving cars, and burning coal in power plants.
With more awareness and a sense of urgency, experts agree we need to figure out a way to weather the inevitable.
The consensus of science has been that this is a problem that's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, and so, it's something that we should be worried about.
But what we really focus on here is that all of those scenarios are for change. There's no scenario that says things are going to stay the way they are. And so the other question to ask is, what are we doing to get ready for that?
According to climate change experts, if there's any hope on the horizon, it will rest on our shoulders, shoulders that future generations will stand on.
How we as a society are really going to tackle this problem. I mean, this is a serious issue that will affect our kids. How much it changes, we have influence over. That's about how much greenhouse gases we emit. And whether we prepare for the changes that are inevitable, we have a choice about as well.